Hey guys, it's been like almost 100 days, I know. But this new place, new recording setup, I got my own little personal studio to work with on projects like video games, recordings, game design, 3D modeling, drawing. Honestly, feels pretty great. Now that I'm in a better headspace, I wanted to talk about one of my favorite games of all time. I know my videos are usually a little on the short side for the what I find cool about series, but this one means a lot to me. I won't run you up 20 minutes or whatever, but I hope I can get some similar expressed feelings for such a classic.
Okay.
Donkey Kong 64. Man, this game is truly a gem of my childhood. Sure, objectively it wasn't as much of a smash hit as Banjo-Kazooie, but I feel like this game really nailed the 3D platforming collectathon in the DK universe. Before this we had the usual Donkey Kong Country, and those are bangers in their own right. But DK64? Well, it was probably the first game I've heard a swear word in when I was a kid. Again, this isn't a review, but I just want to gush a little bit about these games that I grew up with, or games I find throughout my adult years. I do have to say, I won't show the whole thing, but the opening intro being the iconic DK rap tied into this really cool menu of DK tossing barrels through each option is something I remember fondly. It really lives in my head rent-free. Same with the intro cutscene for the start of the game. I know there are a lot of videos out there on this game that talk about its flaws and how much of a failure it was, but honestly, it's fun. Failure or not, I love this game. The beautiful banana yellow cartridge. It sits safely in my closet with the other retro games, and one day, we'll see the light of day again. Speaking of, I find that pretty neat about the game too. Or at least Nintendo 64 games in general, having different color cases. As a kid, I had the green N64 and the DK cartridge. I didn't even know until this video and research that apparently was a special bundle. That's pretty neat. The tutorial? It's nothing crazy, but getting introduced to Cranky Kong and him telling DK to get off his lazy ass to go do some obstacle courses is probably one of the more on-the-nose funny tutorial messages I've seen in an older video game. Yeah, probably up there with like Crash or Spyro. After slipping on a few bananas and getting a few, well done, we can finally start the game. But one last thing that I always loved about Cranky is that whenever you do get a power-up, there's a silly animation that plays for each Kong, and they're all usually very in character. Never fails to put a nostalgic smirk from me. I won't get into too much on the same thing I've repeated for a lot of these games in these videos, but the art style, well, it's something that was never replicated for a Donkey Kong game ever again. And even with the new DK on the horizon for the Switch 2, I feel like this rare style is gone the time, along with these sort of games. The Overworld, or DK Island, gives this feeling of an open world in such a small island area. Exploring and finding secrets here to this beautiful soundtrack was something I loved as a kid, and playing through it again, I stood here for a bit just to soak it in while the looming K. Rool mechanical fortress stood in the distance. Yeah, playing back to this as an adult, a lot of the mystery just isn't there like it was as a kid, but I can still pretend. Man, I could spend hours talking about each stage and how cool and eerie they were, but I only picked 3, promise. Before you even enter anything, you meet up with a DK64 only character, K-Lumsy, or, well, Clumsy. This poor oaf was locked away by his older brother because he refused to smash the Kongs during the Kremling invasion of Kong Island. 8 big locks, meaning 8 big baddies to defeat to free this man who only wants friends. I really like this idea of a plot. I mean, in general, the plot has many side plots that end up twisting into one major one, but really, this big guy stood out to me. Before you can even go to a stage, you gotta deal with B. Locker. Well, unless you know how to skip him. You gotta show him your golden banana count. When I don't have much to say about him, but he is memorable to me at least. Especially his whole, I don't care, I just want to see your golden bananas. According to his wiki, he is perpetually grumpy, as he is always seen in his roles of a grudging servant of K. Rool. The first and only time he alludes to the Kremling king, he refers to him as a fat old fool, whom he is only obeying so he doesn't meet the big sawmill in the sky. I know, whack. Jungle Japes, honestly, is a killer first level that its theme is synonymous to DK. It's the first and last time this shows up in this series. Here you are introduced to all the cool NPCs you'll be visiting, minus one of course, which we'll get into later. You have Funky Kong, Snide, and again, Cranky. Rambi is also here too as a return from the previous games. And it won't be the first time you see the animal companions, or the last. You also get to try this Battle Royale thing that like K. Rool puts around these stages to win these golden crowns. And you kind of just have to survive and beat the crap out of a bunch of minions while the crowd's booing you, but every time you get hit, the crowd cheers. It really makes you feel like a heel in the wrestling world. I really like this. The Minecart minigame is also part of this stage, which is also previewed in the main menu screen if you wait long enough for the demo reel to start. Pretty simple, collect the coins and you'll be doing this minigame for quite a few times. I think minecarts are like a staple of DK at this point too. Speaking of that, and I really miss when games did that. Had cool demos playing behind the main menu. I get it, a lot of newer titles are pretty solid, but I feel like the charm of this era is just gone. The portals in each stage also wrap you up in a banana, which I find funny. I personally reminded the amount of collecting you need and how many things. You know, you have bananas for each Kong, there's 3,500 in total, golden bananas, 201 in total, you know, blueprints for each Kong, 40 in total, banana coins for each Kong, which are used to upgrades and whatnot, banana medals, which are 40 in total as well. I mean, you get the point. Here's a picture to show you. Yeah, I know, it's a lot, right? I mean, but you don't need 100% to complete the game. Though personally, I want to collect them all, and I'm going to probably be chipping away at this game for the rest of the year so I can mark it off my bucket list. One last thing on collectibles, I personally love is these big dudes here that you need to unlock a special power in order to stomp out. They give you like the blueprints, which you need to turn into 007 in order to progress the plot here. And each one gives you a golden banana, of course, after this really cool little cutscene of these contraptions doing like some crazy YouTube short style material stuff, I guess. Honestly, pretty cool. The Kong selection is pretty nice too. Each one of them being fun to play in whatever environment you use them. But also they all have instruments to jam out on too, especially Diddy Kong who uses an electric guitar. That and each special they have is fun to use as well, and are used to complete puzzles in each stage or unlock new areas. I'm not going to go into each and every one of them, so I'll explain it with my own summary and call it good. Diddy gets a jetpack, DK gets this version of star power or something, Tiny, well, I mean, goes tiny, Lanky inflates himself, just like a balloon, and Chunky has roid rage and gets big and could fight Godzilla or something. Man, I explained a lot about what I like about this, and it's really hard not to make this sound like a retrospective or review or some shit, but did I mention that they also have guns and bombs as fruit? I mean, I'm sure everybody knows that by now, but I think that's pretty cool. Angry Aztec is the second stage, and I really love when video games do a desert-themed stage correctly. We had it in A Link to the Past, we had it in Mario 64, and we sure have it in DK64. You get introduced to the absurd amount of minigames here at a few temples, and I always make a note to come back here throughout the game because I'm almost positive while this area doesn't have the most minigames in total, it really does feel like it. Before I forget, on this stage you also meet Candy Kong, who provides you with this power of music. Again, something I find also absolutely incredible for rare games at the time is they really seem to have a love for music in general, even in Banjo-Kazooie. You get to use Diddy to fight a dino thing named Dogodon that you'll be running into later again to take out King Kong style with Chunky. Oh, and some quick trivia here for this stage and the boss. Dogodon, his roars were stock clips taken from Hanna-Barbera's Godzilla Power Hour series, brought up by Tim Cassidy. I mean, according to Wiki, if that's true, that's pretty neat. Frantic Factory is one of the other personal favorites of mine. This industrial complex inside K. Rool's big ship thing is a blast to explore. The hard industrial music changes the tone from the more whimsical jungle japes or the angry Aztecs to something more serious and more sinister even. The car racing minigame is probably one of my favorites in the entire game. I'm biased against car stuff, so I guess that makes sense, but it's always pretty cool to me to see Tiny get inside this little track toy and race around and zoom about. The music here is also pretty lit in these segments too. And there's a mini boss here called the Toy Master, which is also cool. A bunch of building blocks that you fight and that come to life, Voltron style, and you fight them. Their boy Chunky Kong here. Oh yeah, we get Chunky here too. Big lad, with a bazooka that fires pineapples. He loves his triangle as an instrument, and he's your resident King Kong, like I mentioned earlier. Most of his stuff is just getting really big and punching really, really hard. Save for coming back to this place multiple times throughout, the boss here as a kid really freaked me out. But coming back to it now, I look fondly at Mad Jack. His boss theme was intense, and the laughing he did in the background while you jump from pillar to pillar is pretty peak. His mechanics, while different from the other two bosses at this point, provided a sort of difficulty curve in an unexpected nature. Really did set the tone for K. Rool's fortress and what to expect every time you step into his palace of metal. Man, going a little bit off script here, I really could go on all day about this game. You know, I think that maybe one day I might sit down in a more long form video and dissect each stage and things that I like about them and things that I hate about them. And you know, I don't really want to go too like game critic about it, you know, but I just genuinely really love this game. And I'm sure it's going to be bittersweet when I beat it, just like Link to the Past was. I might even stream it. Donkey Kong 64 will forever live in my heart as a game I grew up playing as a kid. And, well, even now, I think it stands tall with the other collectathons out there. While it may not be Rare's golden child, Banjo, I think DK64 is still remarkable and everybody really should give it a shot. You know, you just really gotta look past that early age jank. It's a really fun game. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. I know this long form content is something that I did for Elden Ring. It's really not something I'm trying to do too much of because I think the short and sweet little, oh hey, this is really cool about a game, I like this thing about a game, I think that that's kind of a unique style that I don't see very many people talk about. Everybody's really objective about games anymore, and understandably so, but I just really want to avoid the current new games. I just want to talk about gems that I find. If you really like this kind of content, guys, please like and subscribe. I know I've been gone for a while, but I'm really itching to get back into this, and I have another game from my childhood planned. This one is less of a platformer, but still collectathon in a way, and I think you'll find it pretty neat. Till next time, guys.